Oh, poor Super Mario Bros. 2. It seems like every 8-year-old with a camera has made a video about how terrible this game is.
And look, once you lose a life, your head's bigger than your butt. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Even seasoned Nintendo veterans considered this to be something of a misstep, but I have to humbly disagree. This was a misstep. This was a misstep. Super Mario Bros. 2 a misstep? I think not. This video is to serve as sort of a defense of what is perhaps the most hated game in the main Mario series. I will be doing this by looking at 5 of the major arguments from the opposing side, and then maybe people can stop complaining about this game. Oh, who am I kidding?
Number 5.
Super Mario Bros. 2 is too weird. To take this one apart, let's first look at the original Super Mario Bros. Your enemies include evil turtles and mushrooms, your power-ups are flowers and other not-evil mushrooms, and your main way of dispensing of your foes is jumping on their head. Doesn't that sound a bit strange? I mean, if anything, Mario 2 makes far more sense. The majority of the enemies are simply people with masks on, your power-ups are generally blunt objects you can smack people with, and jumping on enemies' heads doesn't send them flying off the screen. Much more sensible for sure. Now, of course, this is by no means normal, but my point is that this is Super Mario Bros., not Mario of Warfare 7. We can go without some realism.
Number 4.
It's too different. Alright, this one's very similar to the last one, but it's different enough to get its own spot. For this one, consider the time in which the game was released. In America, there had only really been 2 games bearing the Mario name, Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros., both of which had very different mechanics, so a norm hadn't really been established yet when this one came around. But more so what if it's different? I personally prefer something original over ostensibly releasing the same game over and over again. I mean, isn't one of the big complaints about Nintendo today that they aren't doing anything original with their IPs? Think about that.
Number 3.
It was all a dream. This one always really gets me because it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. If you read the manual or even the opening story, all of this should be painfully obvious. Plus, it's not like we play Mario for the story anyway. I mean, maybe someone does, but it's a very small, sad group of people. We play Mario for the adventure and fun of getting to the end, not for the ending itself. Plus, this being a dream opens up all sorts of gameplay opportunities, like being able to play as Peach since she's not captured, and being able to play as everyone's favorite, Toad. Disclaimer, no one likes Toad.
Numero 2.
It's not a real Mario game. Really, it's not? But take a look at this, it works in my SNES. Number 1. It's just a graphics swap of the Japanese game Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic. This is probably what people mean when they say that this isn't a Mario game. Yes, for the 0.1% of you who didn't know it, it's true. Mario 2 is actually a hack of the Japanese game Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic, which roughly translates to Dream Factory Heart Pounding Panic. The original game, as I understand it, was based off of Fuji TV mascots. It's something that probably wouldn't be very well known in the West. So what is the real Mario 2, you ask me? Well, basically, it's just the first Super Mario Bros. Game with very different, much harder levels and a poisonous mushroom to boot. You may have played it on Mario All-Stars as the Lost Levels, and honestly, I really don't think it's that good of a game. It doesn't really offer anything new in the way of gameplay or graphics. How people can prefer this one over the Western release of Mario 2 is beyond me. But anyway, Nintendo decided that this game was too hard for Western audiences, and decided to use Doki Doki Panic to make their own version of Mario 2. Alright, now that the history lesson's over, let's actually try to address this complaint. Which is actually quite hard to do because in this day and age, there are so many ways to play the Japanese version of Super Mario Bros. 2 that this should be hardly relevant anymore. I mean, let's look at some of the benefits of Nintendo's decision. America got Doki Doki Panic, a game that would never have been localized otherwise. It introduced memorable characters into the series, like the Shy Guys and Birdo, and honestly, I can't really imagine games like Yoshi's Island and Paper Mario without these characters. And it even defined some of the main characters' standard abilities, like Luigi's ability to jump high, and Peach's ability to flow. Oh, and real quick, as a side note, Luigi's Doki Doki Panic counterpart is named Mama. So this version of Luigi is literally Mama Luigi. I found that a little humorous. So there you go. I hope that if you have been one of the people who hated this game, that maybe watching this video has brought you around to see it my way. And if not, sleep well, dead man. This has been Mike the Gamer Guy, and I'll see you next time. The absolutely wonderful title card for this video was produced by CatPanda95, and you can see her DeviantArt account in the description below. A lot of cool stuff there, so go check her out if you're interested.